Hey, everybody, welcome to the Pick Six Podcast. Will Brinson here to break down Week 18 NFL playoff scenarios. It's the first ever Week 18. There's a ton of crazy scenarios on both the AFC and the NFC side. So let's dive right in, starting with the AFC. We're going to go alphabetical order here because why not? The Baltimore Ravens, with 5 of 7, by the way, spots clinched in the AFC. One division is open, the AFC East, and, of course, a wild card spot. Well, 2 wild card spots, technically. The Baltimore Ravens play Pittsburgh Sunday, 1 p.m. on CBS. Baltimore can clinch a playoff berth with a win, a Chargers loss to the Raiders, and a Colts loss to the Jaguars, and a Miami Dolphins loss or tie to the New England Patriots. That is their only path. All of those things must happen. It is very unlikely that all those things happen. The Buffalo Bills, who have clinched a playoff berth, but have not yet clinched the division, can clinch the AFC East, can secure their second straight AFC East title with 3 scenarios. 1, the Bills win. Just simply beat the Jets as 16-point favorites at home. That's the pretty likely scenario. That's why they have like a 90+% chance of winning the division. Or a New England loss. If both Buffalo and New England lose, New England at Miami, then the Bills would still get it. They can also, in the very unlikely scenario that both Buffalo and the Patriots tie their respective division opponents in Week 18, then Buffalo would also clinch the division, but that is technically a path. The Cincinnati Bengals clinched the AFC North, with their win over the Chiefs in Week 17. They are not going to play Joe Burrow because, even though they're eligible to get the number 1 overall seed, because they need one of 2 crazy parlays to hit for them to get that top overall seed. A Bengals win, plus a Titans loss, plus a Chiefs loss, plus a New England loss or tie, or a Bengals win, plus a Tennessee loss, plus a Kansas City loss, plus a Buffalo win. Either one of those 2 scenarios would give them the number 1 overall seed. The Titans and the Chiefs are both double-digit favorites, so we're talking something in the range of 100+1 parlay that would have to hit for the Bengals to get the number 1 overall seed, sitting Joe Burrow, the correct move by Zach Taylor and Cincinnati. The Indianapolis Colts have a very simple path to the playoffs. They go to Jacksonville, 2-14 Jacksonville, a terrible, terrible football team, but a place that Indianapolis has not won since 2014. They have to go and win or tie to get into the playoffs. They could also get in if the Chargers lose to the Raiders and Baltimore-Pittsburgh tie the game, or if the Chargers lose to the Raiders on Sunday night, if Pittsburgh loses to Baltimore, and if Miami beats the Patriots. So multiple pathways for Indianapolis, but the really easy one is go down and just beat the Jaguars as a 16-point road favorite.
91% chance, Will. 91% chance is what Stephen O gives the Colts to make the playoffs. And going back to the Ravens, just 2.4% chance for Stephen O's beloved Baltimore Ravens.
And that's probably inflated by our good
you got it. That's doubled.
Yeah. It's like one. Yeah, it's probably like 1.2 in real life. The Kansas City Chiefs at Denver on Saturday afternoon. Kansas City can get the number 1 seed. They need 2 things to happen. They need to beat Denver, and Tennessee loses or ties against the Texans, or Kansas City ties Denver and Tennessee loses. I dislike greatly the whole tie issue, like where we have to break down the ties as well, but we have ties in the NFL all the time. They're more likely with the current overtime system. So that's why we're here. Moving on to the Las Vegas Raiders. They, at 9-7, host the Chargers, also 9-7. We'll do both of these in one fell swoop because they're pretty obvious. This is a win and in scenario for both teams. The Chargers can actually clinch a playoff berth if they win or tie. Las Vegas can get in with a win, but Las Vegas can also get in. This is the crazy scenario that's sort of been bubbling about the NFL. If the Colts lose to the Jaguars, in theory, one of Pittsburgh or Baltimore would get in, unless Las Vegas and the Chargers and the Raiders tie on Sunday night, which is why it's been bandied about they might consider taking knees. Not going to happen. These teams want to win. They hate each other, et cetera, et cetera. So Los Angeles can get in with a win or a tie on Sunday night. The Raiders can get in with a win on Sunday night, or a tie plus an Indianapolis loss, or an Indianapolis loss plus a Pittsburgh loss or tie. Pretty crazy way that it could happen, but the reality is it's Sunday night, you win, you're in the playoffs. The New England Patriots are still alive, even though they have a very small chance of winning the division, are still alive for the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. They need golly, I think the odds on this are like 200 to 1 or something like that. They need to beat the Dolphins as 6.5-point road favorites in Miami. They need Buffalo to lose or tie. Buffalo is a 16-point favorite at home. Kansas City to lose. Chiefs are a 10-point road favorite. And Tennessee to lose. The Titans are a massive favorite against the Texans as well. The Pats can clinch the AFC East with a win and a Buffalo loss or tie, or if New England ties and Buffalo loses. Very, very unlikely. I'm guessing something, what did we say, 90%?
6.1% chance for the Patriots to win the division, so that means 93.9 for the Bills to capture the AFC East.
I'm not exactly sure why I went plural with percent, but yes, very unlikely that the Patriots win. Bill Belichick needs the Jets to throw him a bone. Probably not going to happen, Bill, but you made the playoffs. That's all that matters. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as we mentioned, everything sort of hinges on Indianapolis for Pittsburgh, just like with Baltimore. Pittsburgh has to beat the Ravens on Sunday. They need the Colts to lose in Jacksonville and not have Las Vegas, Los Angeles end in a tie on Sunday night. So even if Indy loses, is shocked by Jacksonville in the final week of the season, and Pittsburgh wins, they could still miss on the playoffs if the Raiders-Chargers game ends in a tie. The Tennessee Titans have a very, very simple path. They've already clinched the division. Very, very simple path to the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Simply beat the Houston Texans, and you are the number 1 seed with a first-round bye, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and probably Derrick Henry coming back in your first playoff game. Now, a couple other things can happen for the Titans to get there. Tennessee could tie, and if KC loses or ties, they could also get the number 1 overall seed. They'll know that going into their game on Sunday because Kansas City plays Saturday. If KC loses and Cincinnati loses or ties and New England loses or ties, Tennessee would also get the number 1 overall seed. Pretty unlikely. Again, a parlay there that is not likely to happen. They would also get the number 1 seed if KC loses, Cincy loses or ties, and the Bills win. A little bit more likely parlay, but still fairly unlikely. Actually, that parlay is probably like 15 to 1, maybe. Maybe like 25 to 1. I'm not sure. We'll look it up later. We got to get to the NFC.
And real quick, we're not going to go through, there's a lot of seeding options, but let's just say for those top 4 seeds with the division winners, let's say the favorites in the KC Denver game, the Tennessee Houston game, the Cincy Cleveland game, and then the Buffalo New York Jets game all win. So that would be Kansas City winning, Tennessee winning, Cleveland winning, and Buffalo winning. The top 4 seeds would be the Titans, followed by the Chiefs, followed by the Bills, and then the Bengals in the 4 spot.
Excellent work, Devo. By the way, you know what? That number 4 situation, KC loses, Cincy loses, Buffalo wins, is actually only plus 650 on terms of a parlay. Kind of a surprisingly low number. Like that's not even that crazy a parlay. If KC loses, you're again, Tennessee just wants to win, but you have to be thinking if KC loses on Saturday that you've actually got a really good chance of getting there, even if something goes horribly awry in your matchup against the Texans. Okay, to the NFC. The Packers have clinched the number 1 overall seed, which means they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We don't have to worry about all those different scenarios on this side of the bracket, but 2, 3, and 4 are very much up in the air, as are 5, 6, and 7, of course, with the wild cards. The Cowboys have clinched the NFC East. The Bucs have clinched the NFC South. 2 teams from the NFC West, the Cardinals and the Rams, both are in the playoffs, but still vying for the division title. And the Eagles have also clinched a playoff berth. Essentially, we'll get to it in a second, but there's basically 2 teams fighting for 1 wild card spot that remains. The Arizona Cardinals, as I mentioned, are still trying to win the division. They can do so with a win and a Rams loss. They're a game behind the Rams, as you can clearly see here, 11-5 to 12-4. The Rams have to lose to the 49ers, and Arizona has to beat the Seahawks. If those two things happen, Arizona clinches the NFC West division title for the first time in a while. The Rams can win or tie against the 49ers at home, 4 p.m., 4:25 p.m. on a Fox. It's a big game, and clinch the division title. Or if Arizona loses or ties against the Seahawks, the Rams would automatically clinch the division title there as well. Fairly simple, straightforward process with the NFC West. And clearly, now you can clinch. Now it gets a little hairy because you can clinch the NFC West and still end up moving all over the place in terms of seeding. The Rams can still be the 2, 3, 4, or 5 seed. And I believe the Cardinals can still be a 2, 3, 4, or 5 seed as well. So it's unlikely that it all shakes up like that just because of, the Bucks have the Panthers and, Cowboys TBD. They play on Saturday afternoon. Some COVID guys happening. We'll see about that. Anyway, Saints 8-8 at Atlanta, their hated rival. 7-9 Falcons, who were eliminated from the playoffs on Sunday. The Saints can clinch a playoff berth. It's a very simple process with a win and a San Francisco loss to the Rams. Very easy, clean cut. Go beat the Falcons. 49ers lose. You're in the playoffs. Taysom Hill, Sean Payton. The 49ers, just similar to that NFC West scenario above. The 49ers at 9-7, visiting the Rams. They clinch a playoff berth with a win or a tie. Go beat the Rams, and you are in the playoffs. Win and you're in. Or if you want to, roll the dice, play with fire, you could lose and still get in if you're San Francisco. You just need the Saints to lose or tie to the Atlanta Falcons for that to happen. That's it.
Brinson, I think because the number 1 seed is locked up, I think we can play around just a little bit with the seeding scenarios in the NFC. So tell me here, pick your winners for these NFC games on Saturday and Sunday that means something, and what kind of 1 through 7 we might be looking at.
Yeah. So let's say that Dallas and if Dallas and the Rams win and New Orleans wins, but if Tampa Bay wins, then that puts, I believe, if Tampa Bay wins, they're the 2 seed, right? Am I wrong about that? I might be wrong about that.
Not in every scenario, no.
Oh, that's right, because the Rams have the tiebreaker over the Buccaneers. That's right. But
right.
Yes. So I believe the Rams win a 3-way tie. Yep. The Rams, if the Rams, Bucks, and if the Rams and Bucks both win, they're 13-4. And the Rams would get the 2 seed by virtue of the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Buccaneers when they beat them in Los Angeles.
If the Rams win, they're the 2 seed, and then there's also even one scenario that they're the 2 seed even if the Niners win, and you can see that kind of at the bottom of the chart here.
But the Rams, while they win a head-to-head tiebreaker over the Buccaneers in a 2-team tiebreaker scenario, if the Rams were to lose, the Bucks were to lose, and the Cowboys were to win, then the Cowboys would be the number 2 seed because of the way that a 3-way tie would play out. So
yep, there's one scenario here where the Cowboys can get the 2 seed.
Yes. Oh, and in that scenario, sorry. Also, what has to happen is, as you can see from the sheet, so Seattle has to win, Carolina has to win, San Francisco has to win, and Dallas has to win. That's the only way that Dallas can get the number 2 overall seed. The Cardinals can get the number 2 overall seed if that same scenario plays out, but Arizona beats Seattle, which is pretty wild that the Cardinals could, struggle down the stretch, figure out a way, beat Dallas, beat Seattle, and all of a sudden, get a little craziness with the Panthers over Tampa Bay and San Francisco winning as a 4.5-point dog, and the Cardinals would jump up to the number 2 seed. I think what I think happens is I think the 49ers win. Am I crazy for thinking that?
Yes, you're crazy.
Okay.
No, it's very, very realistic. So what's your 49ers win?
49ers win, Buccaneers win, Cardinals win, and Dallas wins.
Okay, so in that scenario, we're looking at 8 right here.
Tampa Bay 2, Arizona. Oh, yeah. So Arizona would win the division at 3, Dallas at 4, Rams at 5, San Francisco 6, Philly 7. So that would
So
set
you
up.
get Bucks, Eagles,
No,
Cardinals,
no, 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 no,
Niners.
no. That would be it would
Yeah,
be. Oh, you got. How did we get Bucks? Oh, sorry, I got to change this in the thing I'm doing. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Bucks hosting the Eagles in the first round, Cardinals hosting the 49ers,
correct.
and Dallas hosting the Rams.
Yeah, I'll throw out my scenario, which
Do it.
is Dallas winning, the Rams winning, and then is if you guys listen to the pick show, watch the pick show. I like the Falcons over the Saints, even though the Saints are fighting for a playoff spot. So in that scenario, you got the Rams at 2, Bucks at 3, Dallas at 4, Cardinals at 5, 49ers at 6, because they still get in,
Yep.
even though they lose to the Rams, and Philly at 7. So you're looking at Rams, Eagles, Bucks, Niners, and then a week 17 rematch of Cowboys, Cardinals.
Okay, so that's the scenario I want because I want the 49ers in the playoffs, but I want the Rams to have the 2 seed. But I don't want to be greedy and be like, oh, like I think the Rams will win. I mean, that's the scenario that I personally want for like my futures and all that. Because I have the Rams to win the division. So I'm kind of being greedy. I want the Rams to I have money on the Rams to win the division. So I want
Yeah,
the
I want
Rams.
it too. So Darius Slay can pick off future Hall of Famer Matt Stafford like 3 times in that
How
game.
dare you? That would be a Brinson versus Debo playoff matchup. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of Arizona going back to Dallas to play the Cowboys in the place that apparently Kyler Murray just can't lose in. And then San Francisco, Tampa Bay is kind of interesting too because you would have a team in San Francisco that loves to run the football and a team that Tampa Bay that is very good at stopping the run. That's a kind of a strength on strength matchup there between that defensive line and that offensive line. I think those are the best matchups.
What's the worst matchup you can get if you're a team and you're just like, whether it's a higher seed or a lower seed, what's kind of the worst potential matchup a team can get after this weekend?
In the NFC side of things?
In the NFC? Is there one?
Um,
I feel it's not a typical year where you're just like, yeah, 2 is going to smash 7.
oh, you see, I was thinking the other way around. Like for the 2 seed, like who do you not want to see?
Right. Either way.
Yeah, I think Dallas Arizona might be a bad matchup, and maybe they just beat him though, so I don't know if that qualifies. Basically, if I'm Dallas, I don't think I want to see. I mean, I don't know if does Dallas have a good matchup? Because they haven't been as good against the run this year as they are against the pass.
Probably
So I'd
don't
be a
want the
little.
Eagles at this point.
What's that?
They probably don't want the Eagles at this
I
point.
don't think they want the Eagles or the 49ers. So maybe they do want Arizona. Maybe that's the matchup. Maybe that's the matchup they do want, so they can avoid those really dangerous rushing teams.
So we have some potential interdivisional matchups. Which one would you want to see the most? Because there is even a scenario where the Rams play the Cardinals. Obviously, the Rams can play the Niners. The Bucks can play. I'm just trying to see. Can they play the Saints?
How about Rams Cardinals? I mean,
Right, Rams, Cardinals, and then Eagles, Cowboys. I don't think there's a scenario where we see Bucks, Saints in the wild card round because that would always be 3-7. Yeah, that's not possible.
That's because you're right, because LA needs to win and the Saints need to win, which would mean that you can't get the Bucks up to 2 against the Saints. Yeah, you're right.
So we can't get Bucks, Saints, but we can get Rams, Cardinals.
Oh,
Rams,
Eagles,
Niners.
Cowboys. Should we get Eagles, Cowboys?
We can get Eagles.
Yes, Dallas is the 2 and Philly is the 7. But Carolina has to beat the Bucks.
And Seattle has to beat the Cardinals.
Seattle has to beat the Cardinals. That's right. And the San Francisco has to beat. Yep, that's it.
There's also a scenario, and just flipping here, where no, that's Dallas at the 3 and Philly at the 7. So yeah, just that one scenario.
There's only one scenario. That would be a fun one. A lot
I'll
of
take it.
vitriol and anger. Would you want the Eagles playing the Cowboys?
Bring it.
By the way, well, this is not related to our podcast, but the Eagles did just rule out Miles Sanders, Lane Johnson, and Landon Dickerson. Oh, no, ruled out Miles Sanders and listed the offensive lineman as questionable. I don't know why I'm saying that right now. All right. Do we look at any AFC postseason seating, or are we?
I mean, it's just a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
I think we have a decent sense if these double-digit favorites end up winning. We know Cincy's going to rest some of their players. If we can bank on Cleveland winning and kind of the double-digit favorites to take care of business, 1 through 4 becomes pretty clear.
Yep, exactly.
And that would be, as mentioned.
You're talking about the AFC is like crazier in terms of those top seeds, but there's also it's a bunch of like big favorites. So it'd be kind of surprising if, and if KC wins on Saturday, and all of a sudden it really starts to sort of sort itself out, I think.
Yeah, again, that's that if the favorites win for those potential top 4 seeds, it's the Titans, Chiefs, Bills, and Bengals. And
the Titans, Titans, Chiefs, and Bills are such huge favorites. It would be kind of shocking if they didn't find a way to win. Like, it would be a pretty big upset. It would be a massive upset if any of those 3 teams who will be playing their starters for the duration of the game actually lost.
And let's just say that Cincy wins instead of Cleveland, then it would be Titans, Chiefs, and then in the 3 and 4 spot, it would just be the Bengals and Bills flipping. So the Bengals would be 3 and Buffalo would be 4.
Yeah, essentially, Cincinnati is saying we don't believe that the crazy parlay, the 200-1 parlay, for us to get the 1 seed is going to happen. So we are going to take our bye now, sitting Joe Burrow, sitting all their players, and understanding that it doesn't really matter if you're the 3 or the 4 seed. If somehow the way things break, I guess obviously you can the 3 and the 4 seed end up playing? Probably not, right? Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely could. So, you could end up in a situation where you regret not playing week 18 because the 4 seed Buffalo, you meet Buffalo in the AFC Championship game, you have to go to Buffalo. But that's a fairly unlikely scenario, I think, just given the number of outcomes that have to happen, where you'd rather get your rest for your guys now than have to worry about, what might happen in the playoffs, like in the final round of the AFC playoffs.
Right. How about top matchup you'd want to see from the AFC? Pretty much everything is on the table at this point because the number 1 seed isn't locked in.
I might say the Chargers and the Bengals. Bengals 2 seed, Chargers 7 seed.
We can get that to happen.
Oh yeah, I've got it working out here. Bills and Chiefs. KC is the 4 seed, Buffalo is the 5 seed would be fun. A lot has to happen for that too, though.
Yeah, feels like it should be happening later in January, but to get that on Super Wild Card weekend would be a treat.
Yeah, that would be a treat too. CBS would be our bosses would be lapping it up if that happened. More likely is we get Titans 1. I think, yeah. Oh, actually, I'll tell you the realistic matchup that I like in Wild Card weekend, Devo. Chargers at Chiefs, because that's easy to have happen. You just have to get the Chargers in as the number 7 seed, and which is not hard at all to get. They just have to win, and Indy win, and then you have the Colt. The Bolts at the Chiefs, and Chiefs just have to win, and Titans have to win, and the Chiefs will be 2. Then in that scenario, these are pretty good matchups in the AFC side. It would be Chargers at Chiefs, Colts at Bills, Pats at Bengals. Kind of spicy, right?
Spicy.
Yeah, I think that's spicy. Buffalo's probably going to win the division. KC's probably going to get the 2 seed. Tennessee's probably going to get the 1 seed. And then you would expect Indianapolis is capable of getting in the playoffs with a win against Jacksonville. So the question is, is it the Chargers or the Raiders? Would you rather have Chargers Chiefs or Raiders Chiefs?
Chargers Chiefs.
I think so too.
Let's bring back that Ryan Wilson, Mahomes, Herbert discussion. That's just more fun. I know the Raiders have been through a lot, but Chargers Chiefs. All right, last one I got for you. Which matchup would you want to see as the Nickelodeon game?
Oh, do we have a Slime Time game?
Nickelodeon game is back.
Is it an AFC game?
Not necessarily, because last year it was Saints versus Bears Wild Card weekend.
Oh yeah, with Mitchell Trubisky won MVP. I will say Oy vey. It can be either side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Eagles Cowboys would be a fun slime time game.
I like it.
Would you like it? Bills Colts has all the gravitas of a Nickelodeon special.
Carson Wentz, the MVP in a losing effort to carry on the tradition.
Oh yeah. Give me Carson Wentz losing a playoff game and winning MVP.
We would get the social team would post that for years on end.
For years on end. Yeah, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Colts at Bills, freezing cold in Buffalo and like green slime flying everywhere. Horrible weather. Carson Wentz throwing like 3 pick sixes and somehow the MVP because he threw all the balls to the Bills defense.
Tune in. That
Make
will
sure
be announced soon.
All right, that's it for the Week 18 playoff scenario. Still a ton of craziness to unfold. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Talk to you guys later.